Welcome back to the data set Don't Disturb the Dinosaurs. This is the end of the book, so let's see what happens in Chapter 9. Chapter 9 is entitled Nightfall. Here's your picture. You can see, what would you do if you were stuck in the wilderness with your friends, with no grown-ups in the middle of the night? And what about if it was, like magically in dinosaur times? How would you be feeling? Okay. A few hours later, the data set sat huddled in a jungle clearing. With night setting in and still no sign of Dr. Bunsen, the kids needed to find shelter until morning. Laura built a tent out of sturdy tree limbs and leaves, while Cesar hunched over a small pit filled with dry twigs. He rubbed two sticks together, trying to get a fire going. Meanwhile, Gabe wrapped his arms around himself and gazed up at the night sky. Millions of stars twinkled, more brightly than he'd ever seen at home. Gabe wondered how many of them were still shining back in present-day Newtonburg, and how many had burned out millions of years earlier. "It's amazing," he said. He looked out over the horizon to where a cluster of volcanoes glowed red with smoldering lava. Do you see them in the background there? There's Gabe. Shadows of giant flying creatures appeared and vanished among the peaks. It was all so incredible and scary. "I wonder what they're doing at home," he said. "Me too," said Laura. "Do you think Dr. B will come soon?" "He'd better," piped up Cesar. "It's pizza night at my house. I haven't eaten all day. When we get home, you guys can have a slice." "If we get home," Gabe said quietly. The friends fell silent. None of them knew what would happen if Dr. Bunsen didn't come for them. "I'm sorry I put us in danger before," Gabe said. "I was so excited to see real dinosaurs and then worried about Stego. I didn't think—" "It's okay," Laura interrupted him. "Oh, there's pizza night." "We're a team. We stick together, no matter what." Gabe smiled at Laura appreciatively, and she smiled back. Then Laura turned to Cesar. "How's the fire going?" "Almost got it." Cesar was rubbing the two sticks together. Suddenly, a tiny spark caught on the dried twigs. It ignited. "I did it, guys!" Cesar cried. He jumped up and did a little silly dance. The flickering light from the fire quickly illuminated the entire clearing. Suddenly, Gabe's and Laura's eyes grew wide. "Cesar," Laura hissed. She motioned for him to come forward to them. Cesar stopped dancing. "There's something really scary behind me, isn't there?" He turned. The Allosaurus from before was there. It opened its mouth and let out a huge roar, ready to chomp Cesar. "Oh no, not this time." Cesar grabbed a fiery stick from the pit and waved it at the dinosaur. "Huzzah!" he cried, just like the doctor. A spark jumped and struck the Allosaurus on the nose. Scorched, the dinosaur howled. It took a few steps back before thundering off into the jungle, frightened away. "Did you see that?" Cesar cried in disbelief. "Please tell me you saw that." "I most certainly did," a voice cheered through the darkness. The friends couldn't believe their ears. Dr. Bunsen was standing at the edge of the clearing, holding the remote control for his once again operational time machine. They were saved. Chapter 10. Not so far away. Here is your illustration. Dr. Bunsen had returned the children home in time for dinner. Once the three friends and the doctor had blasted back to the present day, they told him all about their prehistoric adventure. The doctor was delighted that their mission had been a success. But he also realized how dangerous his time machine could be. The doctor had removed the motor gears from the machine on the spot, so it would never accidentally transport someone again. Then Dr. Bunsen had turned to Gabriel. "By the way, your mother stopped by. She said something about a special surprise. I believe you'll want to hurry home." "Mom, I'm home." Gabe had never been happier to open his own front door. He was back, and it was dinner time at the Martinez household. Now Gabe stood in his family's kitchen. Juanita bounced in her high chair. His father sat at the table working on his laptop, and his mother was by the sink. Everything was back to normal, just as it should be. "There you are, mijo," Gabe's mom said. "Did you have fun today?" Gabe smiled. "You have no idea." "Well, I have a special surprise for you." Gabe's mom picked up an envelope and handed it to him. "Open it, sweetie." What do you think's in the envelope? Gabe tore open the envelope and pulled it out. 3 tickets to the Newtonburg Dino exhibit. "I know how much you love dinosaurs." Gabe's mother pinched his cheek. "I thought you might like to go with your friends." Gabe wasn't sure if he should laugh or cry. He opted for an awkward smile instead. "Gee, thanks, Mom. Can't wait to show Laura and Cesar. I'm sure they'll think it's dino-tastic." Later that night, in his pajamas and ready for bed, Gabe lined up his plastic dinosaur figurines on the windowsill. He had a T-Rex, a Triceratops, and even an Allosaurus, but no Stego. "Hope you're having fun, buddy, wherever you are." He looked out the window and up at the night sky. The stars were shining brightly overhead. They may not have been shining as brightly as in the Jurassic period, but they were shining all the same. Maybe Stego was even looking at the same stars, millions of years in the past. Who knows, Gabe thought with a smile. He could be thinking about me, too. Of course, there was no way of knowing, but somehow, realizing that the stars had existed through millions of years in the universe made Gabe feel like his dinosaur pal wasn't so far away after all. The end. I hope you enjoyed this book and all of the chapter books that we've read in the last few months. Take care.